Are we live? We are live.
I think we are.
Yep, you guys are ready to go.
All right, thank you. We'll wait just a minute or two here to see if our other trustees join. Everyone's got hectic schedules, especially this first week back here. So the thousands watching on TV and social media will need to be patient for a moment or two.
Mm-hmm. So, Manny, do we see Pam at all? I just wanted to say something to Pam.
Okay, yeah, Pam is here.
Okay.
Hi, Sue, I'm here.
Hi, honey. I just want to let you know, I'll send you my report in an email. So it's, you don't have
Okay,
to worry about it, anything.
awesome.
Okay, honey.
I'm just going to go off camera and text Joyce and Anna, so we'll see if they're able to join.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
Haven't seen you with the beard, Michael, so it looks good.
Good to see you, Sue.
Okay,
Hi everyone, this is Anisul.
very good.
Sorry, my video is off.
Oh, Anna
Hi,
Sue, how are
Anisul.
you?
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome, glad to have you.
thank you.
Excellent. Well, we now have quorum, so I'm going to call our meeting to order. 7:02, our meeting of the Boyden Public Library Trustees. We'll start with public input. Man, is there any public input for this evening?
No public input.
And I just, as we join, as we get, I should have said Kathy Belharney and Mike Johns and Pam Riccio have also joined us, as well as Sue Collins from the Friends, as always, from the Friends and our trustees. No public input. I'm going to offer something for public input, if I may. This being Manny's last meeting with us as director. Thought I'd share something first that I just happened to find. I thought was worth sharing here. So about 6+ years ago, look at this energetic, fresh face joining the library there. And I'm going to send this down to your new library as well for your announcement down there. Just kidding. I'll stop sharing that.
I had more hair back then too. And it was much darker.
I know how that goes. Hopefully it wasn't the trustees that did that to you, but in all seriousness, Manny, I did want to just say a few words and recognize the remarkable work that you've done as our director over the past 6+ years. You know, following the renovation and expansion of the physical space, Manny, your leadership helped our library kind of take the next step and fill that expanded space with your remarkable, with further energy and activity and community engagement. You've been a consistent ambassador for the library, whether it's on cable TV or in the paper or on social media, or visiting our other town departments and groups. And you've worked tirelessly to engage the community so that everyone feels welcome here at the Boyden Library. Under your leadership, the staff at the Boyden have evolved in the digital age. Together, you have a lot of partners in that, but it's been wonderful to see the entire team do that. You've brought great leadership there and provided new forms of media to make information and literature and entertainment, all sorts of information available to patrons in a way they wish to access it, and again, making them feel more welcome. And I also want to say how your leadership during the COVID pandemic has been really commendable. You've been calm and even keeled and focused on the safety of the patrons and the staff while finding ways to continue providing the services at a time where our community needed them most. And that was really fantastic to see how we continue to be such a part of the community when so many other things shut down. And lastly, you've always been an advocate for your team, the staff at the Boyden Library, and providing opportunities for growth and advancement and development. I know the team appreciates that. As chair of the Boyden the Board of Trustees at the Boyden Library for I think half your time, for better for worse, sorry. But as chair during that time, I wanted to say it's been an absolute pleasure in the truest sense to work with you as we continue to build this library community. And I wish you great success and great happiness in your new chapter. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Colin. I'm going to tip my cowboy hat to you. Someone got me a hat. I guess do you want me to speak now, or do you want me to, I was going to
You're
say
welcome to
something,
speak.
director's report.
You're welcome to speak whenever you wish.
Okay, I'll hold off to director's report.
Okay.
That's okay.
Joyce is just joining us here. Wait for her to join for a moment here. Good evening, Joyce. You just missed a walk down memory lane of Manny's press clippings when he first joined us, and shared a couple words of thanks to him for his work, and he's going to share some thoughts later on. Any other public input before we move forward? Okay. Next, we just want to take a moment and welcome our newest trustee, Anasul Chowdhury. Anasul, can you make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly? I want to be sure I do that.
No, you said right. Anisul Chaudhary.
Anasul Chowdhury. Okay, thank you. We're going to do lots of roll call, and I don't want to mispronounce as we go through. Anasul, welcome to the Board of Trustees. And glad you could be here. I know we had a couple logistical challenges earlier on, but delighted to have you part of this board and a partner in the work that we're doing for the community. So thank you and welcome, and looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry, I couldn't turn on my camera because I'm in COVID right now, and I just passed it to my son. Now he's also infected too.
Oh, no.
So we are going through the tough time right now.
Well, I hope you feel better soon, and I know it's not a fun thing to go through, but we're glad you could join in. Appreciate you
Thank you.
being here, even off camera. Absolutely. Okay. So next we have our minutes of our December meeting for us to review and approve. Trustees, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes? I know Kevin Penders had asked for one edit. Pam, have you received that edit as requested?
I have, I'll edit that.
Okay, thank you. And it was a request with respect to just the wording on being able to, I think, update budget, just a simple wording change. Any other questions or edits or corrections to the minutes as provided? Yeah, Christine?
It was just I think a typo. It was toward the end of the minutes. It talked about how the word was, I think, supposed to be imagine, but it was image. I think it was Colin could not imagine it, something like that, but it said
Okay.
image instead of imagine.
Okay.
It's Pam, I don't know if you can find, it's toward the end of the minutes when we were talking about
Yeah,
the
it's-
search.
Yeah,
Okay,
on
I'll
the,
look for that.
fourth
Okay.
page, fourth line in that first paragraph. Thank you for catching that, Christine.
Yeah, good catch.
No problem.
Any other corrections or amendments? Hearing no other amendments or corrections, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as provided?
Yeah, I can make a motion.
Thank you, Joyce.
Approve the
Second. Catherine, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, we will do voting by roll call since this is a virtual meeting. Catherine Uden,
Approve.
Christine Igo-Freeman,
Approve.
Anasul Chaudhary,
Approve.
Joyce Parlapiano,
Approve.
and Colin Ernst, I approve. 5-0. Very good. Correspondence, Manny.
I have no correspondence at this time.
Okay. On to our friends report. Sue.
All right. Anna Sewell, I am Sue Collins. I'm the secretary of the Friends. I think I know everybody else. I know everybody else. Okay. Our membership drive starts in January, and our January newsletter is mailed out to members with an envelope to help you remember to join us once again. So if any of you trustees have forgotten, or your wives have forgotten, I'm sorry, that's a sexist remark. Whoever is in charge of the checkbook if you're a member, you're going to get a newsletter with an envelope. Otherwise, you can pick up a membership at our circulation desk, and we, really appreciate your support. So our annual meeting and elections will be February 2nd. The executive board is the same. To help Anna Sewell, Janice Rosado is the president. Dave Primmins is a VP. Bernadette Thai is treasurer, and yours truly is the secretary, which nobody else wants that job. So anyway, the chairs of the committees are staying the same, except Jen Uwe is going to take over the newsletter for Dave. Our beloved Margie Rossetti is going to handle all of our bookshops. And we are adding a new member, Don Jenkins, who is a principal of who was a retired principal of a middle school. So the trustees may be happy to know that he is very interested in the young adult librarian position. Financially, we continue to do well with our semi-annual book sale, our 4 bookshops, of which I don't know if you know that we have a young adult bookshop now in our very empty young adult librarian room. And Adam, who sells our books online, it continues to do terrific. Jack Authelette helped us celebrate our 60th anniversary in November by speaking about the history not only of the library, but about the Friends. It was very informative. And so Christine, I think you're going to be at our next meeting. And Anna Sewell, I hope you will join us. Everybody else is really lucky. Every trustee takes a turn to come to our Friends meetings on the first Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock. So hopefully you can join us sometime. And that should do it. If you have any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Sue? Anna Sewell,
Thank you, Sue.
Maybe at our next meeting, we can look at our schedule for the upcoming Friends meetings, and when you're feeling better, we can open up our calendars and pencil you in for 1 or 2 of those. As Sue said, we all take turns and get a chance to see the wonderful work that the Friends do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Sue. All right, professional staff reports.
Okay, at this time, I just want to acknowledge the wonderful librarians, excuse me, at Boyden. First, I want to say thanks to Suzanne. And again, I'm going to go over this a little more in my report, but Suzanne purchases the CDs and the adult audio visual for the library, and she does a remarkable job. You can see in the report for this month, she's buying popular music, including Toad the Wet Sprocket, one of my favorite bands of all time, showing my age. Fantastic band. Movies as well. And currently she is purchasing some YA books. Kathy, who's actually on our Zoom meeting tonight, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do here without, if it wasn't for Kathy's help. She does a wonderful display right when you enter the library. That's all Kathy. She's the one who creates those great displays. She's the one that handles the columns in the newspaper, in the Foxborough Reporter. She also handles the newsletter It's a program called Library Aware. And she handles that single-handedly. And she is handling the programs as well, including our successful fall Sunday concert series. And we will have a winter/spring concert series as well on Sundays. So Kathy will be taking care of that. And we have a new staff member. Welcome aboard, Caitlin Raposa. So you're getting rid of one Portuguese person from Fall River, and you gained a Portuguese person from New Bedford. So yeah, you can't get rid of the Portuguese people. So Caitlin started a few weeks ago. She's fantastic. And Kathy, along with Kathy Lowy, has been helping her with training, and she's a wonderful addition to the library, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a future librarian. She really enjoys what she's doing. So we've already put the bug in her ear. So maybe we'll have another librarian on our hands. Jessica, who's been here for about a year now, she took over for Margaret Rossetti, who was here for over 30 years. And those are very, very big shoes to fill. I think Jessica has done a remarkable job filling in and bringing some new and exciting programming and craft programs and energy to the library. I think she's been a wonderful addition, and she's improving day by day. I said that she's dynamite, and she's a wonderful addition, and I can't believe it's already been a year. And Tim, who is our longstanding reference librarian, he places all the orders for nonfiction as well as science fiction and fantasy. And he handles all reference questions and handles all the tax forms, which should be arriving at the library. Each year it gets later and later. So I would guess the end of January, early February, you'll start seeing the tax forms. But Tim handles that. The reference librarian, as the reference librarian, handles all the questions. And he's been remarkable too, and a good friend. So that is my professional librarian report for December/January.
Questions for Manny? Manny, I noticed one of the DVDs purchased was The Irish Goodbye, so I'm glad you didn't give us The Irish Goodbye for your departure. I saw that slipped in there. All right. Next, financial reports.
Okay, financial reports are in your packet, and we are steady with our reports. I do want to thank Pam, who is also on our meeting this evening. She does a remarkable job when it comes to having all the numbers. She checks everything numerous times, and just want to thank her for that. She follows up and just does a terrific job when it comes to the financial report, as well as the book breakdown. So that's something new that she did since she's been on for almost 2 years now. So, but regarding the budget as we stand the end of December, yeah, we're good. We're, where we should be.
Excellent. Any questions on financial reports? And before we go to director's report, just want to acknowledge your comments about all that each of the individual staff members you mentioned as part of the team that made this be successful. I know I gave a lot of praise for you earlier, to recognize it as a team and a great group that helps make this a success. So thank you to the whole group. No questions on the financial reports. We'll move to director's report, Manny.
So I just wanted to take a few minutes just to say thank you. Number one, I want to thank, and I know Kevin's not on right now, Kevin Penders, but he was on the search committee when I was hired. So I want to thank him and the entire search committee, for giving me a chance. I know there were many library directors that applied, and I was very fortunate to be the one selected. So I do want to thank the entire committee for, giving this guy a chance, and I really appreciate that. I do want to thank the Board of Trustees. I think we've had a very good relationship, in my six and a quarter years here. Just speaking to other library directors, and they have issues with their board of trustees. I can say I never had one in Foxborough. I think it's because we both have the best intention for this library, and that is to give back to the community. I've always been about that. And what's remarkable about the trustees, you have the same goal, and we all work together. We don't fight. We work as a unit, as a team, when it comes to the budget, when it comes to all the finances, when it comes to policies. So I do want to thank all of you, especially Colin as chair. Thank you for communicating with me, and it was an absolute pleasure working with all of you, especially Colin, the past few years as the chair. Thank you very much for that. I want to thank the Friends for being my friend. They, when I started, Dave Crimmins was president, and then Janice Rosado became president a few years ago. And I've had a blast at those Friends meetings. We have a lot of fun, but you guys get right down to business. And the work and dedication that you do is amazing, and you should be commended for that, because we wouldn't be able to put on these awesome programs, especially those children's programs in the summertime over at the town common. We could not do that if it wasn't for you guys. You guys hustle, you guys get out there, and I can tell you, not every Friends group in this state is like, actually, most of them are definitely not as energetic and dedicated like you guys. So I am going to miss that. Where I'm going, which is interesting, their Friends group was ranked #1 in the entire state. I know, and I've met them, and they are just like they should be doing classes, because it's just what they do is it's amazing. They actually have their own warehouse where they hold all their books. It's just, I don't know how they do it, but they got like a whole crew doing. But I will miss all you guys. Sue, I'll miss. You always brought a smile to my face. We always laughed. We always had a good time. So I will miss the Friends very much. And to all the staff, Kathy and the entire staff, I said during my final interview in Tennessee, I said and it's true, I would not be here standing in front of you guys if it wasn't for the staff, because we worked together, and you guys just made my job just so easy and fun, because we all worked together. If we didn't have that, there's no way I would be going to Tennessee, so I've always been about a team. I'm just a title. That's all I am. And if we don't work together, we're going to sink like the Titanic. We all need to work together as a unit. And I think we did that here. And I hope the next director, whoever that is, I hope works well with the staff. I will say that the staff was awesome. I had so many laughs and so much fun with them. And it felt like a family. So that comes down to why am I leaving? I'm saying how wonderful everything here is, which is true. I've enjoyed every single minute of this library. I've loved it. But we all have, and this might get a little corny, but we all have times in our life where there's a chapter that pops up, and there's a chance to do something. And if you don't do it, you learn to regret it. And this opportunity came up. My wife and I absolutely loved the Smoky Mountain area. We've loved it for years. And she was actually one who found this job for me. So it wasn't even me. I wasn't even looking. And she came to me, and I didn't think I had a chance. And I had 4 interviews, and I was the fortunate one to become that director. It's a county, so it's totally different. It's a little over 136,000 people that I'll be director for, 40 plus staff, totally different totally different animal I'm going into. And I'm excited, but also a little scared. But again, I wouldn't have this opportunity if it wasn't for this staff. Again, I just, I can't say they just been great. And I'll miss the trustees and I'll miss the friends, but I'll miss the staff the most because we had such a great family. And I've told all of them, and I'm telling the trustees and the friends and anyone in Foxborough watching, if you're ever in the Smoky Mountain area, you're going to visit Dollywood, going to Knoxville, come to the Blount County Public Library, because that's where I'll be. Again, thank you to everyone in Foxborough. It's been a great ride. I have my cowboy hat already. I have country bands, music bands that were written down for me. I already got them wrong. I guess it's Billy Curlington. I was calling him Bill Curlington. So I'm trying to, get the way of the land and the accent. So, but thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a good ride.
Thank you, Manny. You've been great.
Thanks for sharing that, Manny. Certainly a high bar for the next director, and they will walk into a great community at the library that you've helped foster. And we're all going to make a field trip down to Tennessee and see the library. Surprise!
You're more than welcome. I'll take you out for what is it? Fried chicken and waffles with gravy or something. I don't know. Something they don't make up here. They make down there.
Sounds good. Well, it's hard to move on from that topic and that conversation on the agenda. So with all apologies, I will move us forward in our agenda. So next on our list here is our liaison and trustee subcommittee reports. We do have business for a couple of the subcommittees, personnel and budget, and so what I think our business will be included in some of the later agenda items, unless there's something that I'm forgetting that requires discussion.
I think you're good.
Okay. So why don't we move on to our FY23 budget. We held a special meeting last week, and for understandable reasons, we weren't able to get quorum. We did have a discussion, several of the trustees, and walked through some of the adjustments to the budget. Manny, would you mind just giving the really quick walkthrough? Because I know we've had the budget, we've had discussions before and during and after, so we can probably do an abbreviated walkthrough. Certainly want to leave space for questions from trustees or anyone participating in tonight's conversation tonight. But maybe just a quick walkthrough would be helpful before we move
Sure. So at the last meeting, I did present the budget, and there were questions and discussions that were brought up from the Board of Trustees, which included something that I've been banging the drum for since I started here, and Sue alluded to earlier, would be the introduction of a young adult librarian. Just a quick history. When I first started here, I saw that area, beautiful area, but we have no one to lead it. And I knew that was something that needed to be done in order for our library to be complete. So we've been working on this for many years. And I think a few years ago, I think we were going to be successful, but unfortunately, a pandemic came and took those dreams away. So we had a discussion, myself and Colin, as well as Kevin Penders, and about the budget with the town manager. And we did discuss with the town manager, including that YA position at a part-time. We'd love to see a full-time, but with circumstances, hopefully we can, if we do get a part-time, we can show how successful part-time is and translate that and move that into a full-time. So with that, we made some adjustments to the budget. So if you look under the professional librarian line item, you do see an increase in salary. And that's for a part-time young adult librarian. It may be a little more than the $30,007 there. However, under library pages, that salary there is for 4 pages. We only need 3. We have 2 in young youth services, and then we have 1 in adult services, and they are magnificent. And they do such a great job. So there's some savings from that line item if we need to add to that 30,000 for a young adult librarian position. Also included in this budget is we did reduce office supplies by 10,000. And that 10,000 was to add a brand new copier to the library. And that's something that we can speak to with, well, not me, but the next director to the Board of Trustees when it comes to our Beyond Books fund, which is still available. And the monies in that line item is specifically for a capital improvement in the public library. So that's something that the next director can visit at a future trustee meeting. Went down back to $71,500 in our book and subscription budget. We went down in our audiovisual down to $25,000. And what I ended up doing is I created a new line item called streaming services, and Colin mentioned this before. That's something that I've been a big supporter of, and we really saw an increase in streaming services when the pandemic hit. Is our patrons, they couldn't physically come to the library, but they could still use library resources from the comfort of their home when it comes to streaming services like Hoopla, where they could read graphic novels, they can watch TV shows, watch movies, listen to an audiobook. So that service is there. Another service that we introduced was Canopy, which is, it originally started as more of a art house type of movie subscription service, but they have changed their format. So now you do see contemporary action films, horror films, sci-fi. You still get the what I would consider art house or Criterion Collection films, but now you see a blend of more popular subjects. So we have that. And then the final streaming service that we have is Create-A-Bug, which is more of a DIY, do-it-yourself streaming service. Learn how to knit or do something creative. So we have that. So what we ended up doing with that line item is the money that we were going to have for streaming services, we just returned it back to our digital/electronic media. And also the Friends of the Library a couple of years ago did graciously donate some funds for Canopy. So maybe that's something that the next director could revisit. And I think so, because I know the Friends are really behind us when it comes to a young adult librarian. I know they'd love to see it. I decreased meetings and conferences because I don't know how many meetings and conferences we're going to be face-to-face for this current, for FY23. Who knows what's going to happen with that. So with that, you see excuse me for one moment. There it is. We're down to around a 2.39% increase in our budget, which is below the 2.5 that was actually brought to us from the town manager. So again, we're trying to do the best as possible. We'd like to add a new position, but also we have that fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. And I think we did that with this budget. And again, thank you, Colin and Kevin, for your expertise when it comes to this. So
thank you to you and Kevin did the lion's share of work on that, and they made some good trade-offs. So just to add a couple of comments, and thank you for the walkthrough, Manny. the young adult librarian was our priority. It's been a priority as a board of trustees, and as Manny said, we're in alignment with friends as well on that. And town hall was open to exploring that if we could bring our budget within line, and we certainly understand, acknowledge, and appreciate the constraints that the town hall is managing within for the financial health of our town. So I think Manny and Kevin made some excellent recommendations that keep us consistent with prior years for the most part. And we made some trade-offs, and we'll have to continue to do that, but that's what priorities are all about, right? Cutting in some areas to have what we believe is a real priority. And I'll just state again how this is a significant segment of our community population, young adults, that is not being served. And I'm pleased to see us be able to formulate a budget that would accomplish those goals if approved, and a number of steps to go before that does become approved. But pleased with where we landed, and pleased that we're coming in below the percentage that town hall has asked, just to be sure we're doing our part and then some. So at this point, I want to ask if there are questions or discussion. We are looking to vote on this budget today, to submit it to town hall. We're a little bit behind timeline on that, so I'm looking forward to discussion. But questions, discussion, comments on the budget as presented by Manny? No? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the budget as submitted by Manny?
Yeah, I'm happy to make that motion to approve the budget as submitted.
Motion by Joyce. I think I saw Catherine second.
Mhm.
Any discussion before we vote?
I'd just like to add that it was very well crafted to accommodate the restrictions.
Agreed.
Mm.
Any other discussion? Thanks, Joyce. Any discussion? With no discussion, we'll move to roll call vote. Start with Catherine.
Approve.
Christine?
Approve.
Anderson?
Approve.
Joyce?
I approve.
And Colin? I approve. Motion carries 5-0-0. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again to Manny for the hard work on that. Next is library director search update. Mike Johnson, Town Hall, thank you for joining us to provide a bit of an update. Mike and I chatted earlier today, so I can share some of my takeaways on that. But Mike, do you want to maybe give us a quick update on just where we stand with applications? Then I'll talk about the process that you and I discussed earlier today and what we can expect moving forward.
Sure. Thank you, Colin, for that. So we do have 11 applications, and we have some very highly qualified applicants. So we're pleased to start looking over those and moving to the interview phase. And and Colin and I talked about a 4-phase process of moving through that, involving the trustees, the friends, administration, and then one other department head in that search. And would you like me to go through the phases, Colin, or are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'll walk through it. Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks, Mike. So what Mike and I talked about, we will take a look at the resumes and select probably 6 to 8 of those that we'll do some screening calls with. And we'll have, I need to decide who these 3 folks are. We'll do just a few folks do some quick intro screening calls to narrow that down to a group of probably about 3 candidates that will have the broader committee attend an interview. We'd ideally like to do that in person. I apologize. So the screening calls will be Zoom. The next phase, which is a more in-depth interview, we would do ideally in an in-person scenario. If individuals need to participate by Zoom, that's fine too. For committee participants, we'd like those candidates, if at all possible, be in person, COVID permitting. And then once we'd ideally work that down to 1 or 2 finalist candidates and have those individuals meet with the board of trustees, come and meet the library staff and people that spend time in the facility before we arrive at a final decision. but that's the process that we're planning to go through. And I had a chance to look at the applicants today, and I agree, Mike, we have some strong candidates and very excited about that, and eager to move forward. Any questions from any of folks on the call today? Okay.
I have a quick question. So what's the timeline? Or are we just taking it as, moving forward as we can, with scheduling people?
Yeah, Mike, what's your take on this based on prior searches?
So I would recommend that we start doing the screening this coming week. So the folks that have access, and that would be the 3 trustees, the one friend of the library, myself, and the one department head, who's Mark Craig over at the Council on Aging and Human Services, will be a colleague of the new library director. Start immediately looking at the resumes, have a discussion, and then we move right into, I would say, next week would probably be good to set up that initial Zoom call. And if that's agreeable, I can go and send out some proposed dates. And if we can line up whatever that subcommittee of 3 is, then I'll reach out and start lining up candidates. Those 6 to 8 that the pool agrees to move forward, and try to get those all in 1 or 2 days.
Okay. I'll give some thought to just who those 3 are. I don't want to think off the top of my head on that, but we'll get back to you as soon as possible on that. I'll be one of the members on that. I assume you will participate also to help us facilitate, Mike.
Sure.
No, I'll think of a couple other folks. In terms of just screening those resumes, do you think it'd be an okay process for if you were to reach out to those individuals who have access to the resumes and ask them to get back to you with maybe their rank order, and we can kind of choose our shortlist in that fashion? Probably a little more easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start reaching out to folks tomorrow and making sure that they've got access, been able to look at them, and then do exactly that. Get a rank order, and then following that, I think Colin and you and I should talk, make sure that I'll share with you what the information I've received, and then move forward with that.
Perfect. Manny, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do have 2 questions. So when it comes to the final vote for the candidate, who votes for it? Who's going to make the final vote for the
review committee will make their recommendations on those finalists, but the final vote is up to the trustees.
Okay.
If I'm correct, that comes to a vote of the trustees.
That's correct.
And then the other thing, I just really want to hammer this. Please make the staff be an active participant in this process, because it's great to have a committee, but it's the staff that's going to be working with this person day in and day out. So when I got this job in Tennessee, I found out afterwards that the big deciding factor was the staff there, because they felt comfortable with me.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So this first stage won't include the staff terms of screening, the initial pool, but the later stages, including having the staff meet the finalists before the trustees take any vote. I think that's critically important. I agree with you.
Okay. All right. That's all. Thank you.
I agree. I agree with that as well. And earlier in our conversation, Colin and I talked about that. When it gets to that point of the final 2 people, bring them right in. I introduce them to the staff, and I think we did a very good job with that when we hired Jessica Henderson, and we had 3 very strong finalists, and we brought them around, and actually the input from the staff actually agreed with what the interview panel was. So that would really give a great affirmation that we were moving in the right direction with that hire.
Excellent. Any other questions from our attendees today? Okay, thank you, Mike. for your partnership in the process. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I've appreciated working with all of you.
Excellent. Looking forward to next steps. So I think now we want to move to executive session for our next two agenda items. So I think we need to have a motion to move to executive session, I believe. Is that correct? Maybe is that the case? I don't think I've done executive session since I've been.
Yeah, so
Madam Chair.
for the executive session, it'll just be the trustees and Mike, and Foxborough will cut the feed. So it's just, and I will take the, oh, and Pam as well, because of the topic we're going to discuss. So I'll take the minutes for executive session.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So
Be returning to
Good
open
night,
session.
everyone.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
So is someone going to state the reason to go into executive session?
Yes, so per our agenda, thanks, Mike. Per our agenda, the executive sessions to consider appointment of interim library director is one agenda item. And the other is regarding negotiations with the Boyden Library Employees Association regarding contract negotiations. Thanks, Mike, for that reminder.
You're welcome.
Are we still on the air, Mike Weber?
The air, are you voting to go into executive session, and then
Oh,
are you
yeah.
returning to open session after executive session?
We will, just to close out the meeting, to adjourn. Yeah.
Motion can someone make a motion to adjourn to or to move to executive session? Thank you, Christine.
I'll make a motion to move to adjourn and move to executive session, starting now.
And I
Second.
can second. Yeah.
Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah.
So all in favor of moving to executive session? Roll call, Catherine? Yes.
I'm like, what's the right
I didn't mean to
answer?
vote for you. Just
Approved, yes.
multiple choice. Christine,
Approved?
Anasil,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
and Colin, yes. All right, we are adjourning, or we are moving to executive session. And we will end our Mike Weber, let us know when we are live, please.
We're live.
Okay. Thank you, Mike Weber, Foxborough Cable Access. All right, now we are returned to open session with one final item to vote on, and that is with regard to an interim director for the Boyden Library while we are conducting our search for Manny's successor as director. It's a discussion in executive session. And Kevin, I think you had some wording you were going to recommend for the motion, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. I move that the Library Board of Trustees vote to authorize Kathy Bell Harney to serve as the interim director in Manny's absence until such time as a permanent director is selected through the search process and secured through Town Hall. Salary and negotiations associated with that interim position to be negotiated by Town Hall in accordance with the recommendations provided by Manny Leet.
Thank you, Kevin. Do we have a second? Thank you, Christine. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will roll call vote, and we'll start with Catherine.
I agree.
Christine.
I agree.
Hansel.
I agree.
Joyce.
I agree.
Kevin.
Yes.
And Colin, yes. 6-0-0. Thank you, trustees, and thank you, Kathy Bell Harney. Manny, is there any other business for us to discuss before we adjourn for the evening and for your directorship?
So I did forget to say something too. And Kevin, I thank the trustees, and I want to especially thank you because you were on that hiring committee many moons ago. And so thank you for giving me a chance. And I really appreciate that. I really do. I wouldn't be where I'm going now if it wasn't for this opportunity here at Boyden. And I've loved every minute of it. And this was
now you just made it sound like it's my fault you're leaving. That's all you did.
If anything, I have to blame my wife because she's the one who found the job for me because she's been wanting to move to that area for many, many years now. But I do want to say this was the most challenging, especially these last 2 years with the pandemic. You know, you hear this and you've all dealt with it in similar situations. We never went to school to handle a pandemic. And, you know, I'm very proud of what we accomplished here, and it wouldn't be done without the support from trustees, the staff, town hall, health department, the friends were backing us up. So it was a total group effort and we succeeded. I can proudly say we were the first library around this area to open and not shut down, because some did open and they've shut down. And like I said before, there are some libraries that are currently closed because of the surge. So we did everything smart. We had everyone involved, and you know, it was a challenge. So, but I'm glad, you know, so far so good, and hopefully Kathy, and if she becomes the next director, or if it's another individual becomes director, can continue to steer the ship. But I know the trustees you guys are perfect and great ambassadors for the library and the town. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Manny.
I just wanted to say something. Manny, thank you so much for all your hard work. You make your job, you make this look easy, and I know it's not. You've especially the last couple of years, You've done a phenomenal job making sure the ship ran smoothly, and that everyone was safe. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
So if I may, I'm glad this means I didn't miss the roast part for Manny on his way out the door. Because I was worried that I was going to miss all of the that discussion before. I did want to just chime in to offer, I met Manny probably about eight and a half years ago at a legislative breakfast in, I think, Lakeville, where I was there with Jerry Cirillo. And as we walked away, Jerry looked at me and went, "There's your next library director." And I said, "What?" He goes, "I'm retiring, and that's the guy you should hire." So, which is interesting given some of the entry bumps that Jerry gave poor Manny when it was time for Manny to join us. But Manny, you have, on behalf of me and my family, let me just say, you have been a value-added member of the library and the library family. You have carried us through a number of challenges, buildings, visual display disputes, issues that really, COVID, other things that really were not in the job description. And you've done it with grace and with effort, and with a real willingness to get to the right answer. And so I really appreciate all of your efforts in that regard. You will be missed. I am not thrilled, as I have told you already, that I am doing another director search. But I wish you and your wife all the best on your new adventures. And I look forward to hearing how they're going and welcoming you back here for any opportunity to just have you roam the halls, or just, we'll make you, I guess, we'll ask the Friends to make you an honorary member, and then they can, and we can see you on a monthly basis on Friends calls.
Kevin,
All the best.
I did thank you so much. I did say before, and I do want to offer it to you. If you're ever in the Smoky Mountains, you go to Dollywood, you're going to Pigeon Forge, please stop by the Blount County Public Library in Maryville, Tennessee. I'd, give you a tour, and we can have a good time. And I guess we'll always have visual display policies.
We always will. Will you be taking Blount clam chowder with you in an effort to try to convince them that it's actually theirs?
They're very excited that Smith & Wesson's going there from Springfield. So that's their big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you find a way, take a little Fall River with you.
I already have. I already have for the chair of the trustee down there, I gave him a rooster, which is very symbolic and good luck in Portuguese tradition. And I explained it to him. So it's in his kitchen.
Excellent. Excellent. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Please, Mike.
So I've told Manny this before. We had a great working relationship, and and the new interim director, and Manny and I have hired a lot of staff as people have progressed up through the ranks, and it's been a pleasure working with Manny, with Kathy, with the library. But I told Manny that as a child, I grew up and spent a lot of time in the library. My mom would take myself and my two brothers and my sister there, and it was a wonderful place. We spent a lot of time in the children's section, and to come back after many years away and see that the library has only gotten better. And under his leadership and mentorship, it continues to grow, and it's a wonderful place for the community. And it's when you think about the center of our community, getting better every day. The theater coming back to life, the library growing and offering more programs, and now bringing restaurants and stuff. The center of our town is just alive with energy and programs. And man, I just want to thank you for your leadership, for your direction, and for the trustees to for giving him the support he needed and the policy direction to make things the way they are. So I wish you all the best in Blount County.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Christine.
Just very quickly, Manny, I just wanted to thank you again and thank you for your creativity. Really, I think you've brought a fresh creativity to our library that that benefits all ages. So that's something that I truly appreciate and thank you. It's been really fun having you, and we'll miss you. And as they say, our loss is Tennessee's gain, and that is very true in this case. So thank you so much for everything you've done for everyone here in Foxborough.
Christine, I'll miss those nurse stories that you used to tell me that happened in your backyard. Well, next to your backyard.
Well, I gave my roasted Maine earlier, but for Kevin's benefit, I thought I'd reshare the walk down memory lane that this young, fresh face joined us 6.5 years ago.
Thank God you didn't put mine up. I think I had hair.
That was on a stone tablet. I couldn't find that one. As was mine. Well, just as I shared earlier, Manny, you've done such a remarkable job. Thank you for your leadership. And as you ride off into the sunset.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
All set to go.
Yep.
Tennessee, not the Ponderosa.
Any last words before we send Manny on his way? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn, to meet again without Manny, but to welcome him back whenever we are able.
Motion.
I second.
Second by Catherine. Any discussion? Well accommodative. Once again, I add my gratitude. Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
Catherine, do you vote?
Yes.
Christine.
Yes.
Anasol.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Kevin.
Regrettably, yes.
And Colin, yes. We are adjourned. Manny, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to
Thank you,
stop by the
Manny.
library later this week so we can say
Okay,
goodbye.
I'll be here.
Happy trails, Manny.
Well played, Christine.
I like that. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.